Hi everyone, I'm back and I'm trying something new. I've got a headset and a mic here, so I'm hoping that will actually make me sound better. The only problem with that is that my tongue still gets in the way, so I still stutter and say and and things get tripped over. Like just right there, what I meant to say is I still trip over my own words, put my foot in my mouth. Basically, what I want is the garbage that comes out of my mouth to sound better and clearer. So you'll have to let me know if it does in the comments down below. Anyway, the real reason why we're here is not to see me stumble over my own words. It's to see the books that have just come in the mail. Some of them are super cool. Some of them only I will think is cool, but that's okay. It's my own personal collection. The first book I picked up, it's helping me slowly cross off that goal of picking up Spider Gwen #1, the different covers in 9.8s. The first one I got is or Spider Gwen #1. It's in a 9.8. It is the blank sketch cover, and it is blank as you can see. I got this off of Mercari with shipping and taxes for under $35. And when I see a deal like that, I'm gonna jump on it. Now the seller did tell me after I had purchased it that it apparently his cat had walked on it and cracked the case, but I don't see a crack anywhere on there, and I don't think you're going to be able to see it either. I personally think that I mean, like I see a faint line right through here, but it's barely noticeable. I truly think that the seller just did not want to sell it to me for that price. But anyway, it's a 9.8 Spider Gwen #1 that I will add to the list, cross it off in a 9.8. Big deal, right? Like, that's not why I'm making this video. The next book up is one of the reasons why I am making this video. So, quick story. I saw a CGC facilitator had posted, and this was shared by the CGC Facebook group, their official account, that they were hosting Peter David for a signing. And for those of you who don't know, Peter David is a writer who I know from his great run on X Factor, but he's more well known for his run on Incredible Hulk and as the co-creator of Spider-Man 2099. So this facilitator was doing a private signing, and it's the only signing that Peter David is doing this year because in recent years he's had some health issues. He just most recently had a massive stroke. So I saw that he is doing the signing, and I wanted to get a book signed from him while I can, because his health concerns they do concern me, and so I get a book signed, and all the money that is raised for this signing is going to help cover his medical bills. So I wanted to jump on this opportunity. Now I just saw this post last week, and I knew immediately the book that I wanted to get signed by him. The only problem is I didn't own that book. So I quickly did a search on eBay, Mercari, Shortbox, because there was one book in mind that I knew I wanted to have him sign. The problem or issue, besides me not owning that book, is that I want to get that book signed by as many creators or people who worked on the book as possible. One of which is at New York Comic Con next week. The letterer, Rick Parker. Now, everyone knows me. My day job is I am a comic book letterer. So I'm going to go out of my way to get the letterer to sign the book. So I contacted this facilitator and asked, how can I make it possible? How can we make this work? Is it at all possible to have the letterer sign this book and then afterwards send it to you to have Peter David sign it and still get the yellow label. And they explained to me what I would need to do is reach out to another CGC facilitator, send the book to them, have him or have them get the book signed by Rick Parker, the letterer. And then once they get the book signed, they would then send to this original CGC facilitator to have Peter David sign it. So, in theory, what I'm trying to do is get this book signed by Rick Parker, the letterer, and Peter David, the writer, and still come back to me with that yellow CGC label. I know. The fact that I was able to get this to work, I had it all mapped out, and I looked like Charlie uh, from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia with strings coming everywhere, and me just pointing, trying to figure out how to make this work. But I think I've got a plan, and I think I have it figured out. So anyway, all of that just to tell you that the book that I'm trying to get Peter David and Rick Parker to sign, and later, eventually, because eventually he will be doing another CGC private signing, Todd McFarlane is Hulk 340. So this book just came in. It's Hulk 340, of course, that iconic Todd McFarlane Wolverine cover. Um, as soon as this video is done, I'm packaging this thing up to get sent out to the second CGC facilitator so that he can get Rick Parker to sign it, and then they will send to the first one to get Peter David to sign it, and then hopefully when it comes back, I will just hold it until there's a Todd McFarlane signing at CGC. I know this is a lot of work, but I think it's hopefully going to be worth it. We'll see. All right, the next book that came in, literally just came in probably 15 minutes ago. I was waiting for it to arrive before making this video. It's back from CGC. It was sent in for the Rob Liefeld signing. I wanted to get a book signed by Rob Liefeld, but I wanted to try and find sort of a unique way of doing it. And so the book I got back is New Mutants 87. It is an 8.5, and it's a newsstand. You can see down here, but it's also, I don't know if you'll be able to read that or if the camera will pick it up. It is a Mark Jewelers variant. So my eventual goal, when Todd McFarlane does another CGC signing, will be to send this book in and have it signed by Rob Liefeld and Todd McFarlane. And eventually, somewhere down the road, I will get Louise Simonson, the writer on the book, to also sign it. So it will be at least triple signed. That's the goal. Hopefully, at some point, I will run into Bob Wysick. I think I'm pronouncing his name correctly. Somewhere at a convention, I will run into him and hopefully get him to sign it, and it'll be quadruple signed between Louise Simonson, Rob Liefeld, Todd McFarlane, and Bob Wysick. That's the eventual goal, hopefully. Okay, last book to show, and it's probably the most important book to show, at least to me, right? So, story time. Another story to go with this. Back in the summer of, I think it was 2020, 2021. I'm not sure. I can't remember for sure. I was at a convention in Dayton, Ohio. It was a Gem City Comic Con. And I was walking around and I found this book right here. This book is X-Men number 11. It's the last Jim Lee cover in that Jim Lee X-Men run. Um, this book at the time was a 9.8, and I got it for a steal of a price. I think I paid around $300 for it. And of course, if you know anything about this book, it's worth way more than $300. So at the time, it was a 9.8. And first off, let me back up. The reason why this book is so weird or expensive is because it is the Silver Pressman variant. So back in the 90s, Pressman made an X-Men board game, and what they would do is they would put copies of X-Men comics in the board game, but they had a different color, like the silver background here, or some of the other ones have a gold background, or whatever. So the comic would be included with the board game, or you would get a voucher to mail in, and they would send you a comic. So as you can probably guess, there are very few of these that are super high grade because, well, they were mail-ins. So I bought this one at the time for $300. It was a 9.8. So I bought it excited because I knew what I had found. And then I sent it in to CGC for the Jim Lee signing, and it came back a 9.4. And I was crushed and devastated. So it came back a 9.4, and I saw the defects that they were talking about, and I thought that they could be pressed out. The only problem is you can't crack it and press it, or send it to a presser, because then you would lose the gold label. So I've told myself that if anybody else who ever worked on the book did a signing, I would send it in, I would pay for CGC to press it, and maybe we could get that grade bump back to a 9.8. So Tom DeFalco was there. I did that, and it went from a 9.4 to a 9.6. So we're almost there. Maybe someday I can work something out, figure something out. We can get it back to the 9.8. But it always bothered me that I had a 9.8 and then a 9.4 and then a 9.6. So I decided to finally correct that issue in my collection, and I picked up another X-Men 11 Pressman variant, second print. I guess is considered a second print. I'm not sure. In a 9.8. So this one I might send in for a new reholder because it's the old case. But for now, I'm just going to. Uh, I'm actually just going to stick this in a box, put it in the closet, never look at it again. So it will always stay 9.8. And I now can say that I have every cover in the Jim Lee X-Men run from 1 to 11 in 9.8s. Oh, except I don't have newsstand copies. Dang it. Ignore what I just said. I guess I know what I'm collecting now. Just to put some perspective on how hard it is to get this book in a 9.8, this is the most expensive book that I have shown you today. So that New Mutants 87, that Hulk 340, they both of those prices combined do not equal what I paid for this, just because it's so hard to get. But as I said, this picking this up made me feel like I righted a wrong that I had done. I had made that costly pricing mistake, and I literally paid for it. So live and learn. I will never send another expensive 9.8 book to CGC for a private signing. Uh, that's just me. So yeah, those were my pickups. Those are what just came in. I'm rushing through the ending of this video because I gotta get that Hulk 340 packaged up and mailed out because the deadline is super quick. It's a quick turnaround. Anyway, you'll have to let me know down in the comments below what you thought was a good pickup. If you think that I'm crazy for trying to jump through all these hoops to get that Hulk 340 signed by as many creators as possible, please, while you're down there, make sure that you give the video a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, let me know. Give that thumbs down video a click twice. Click it twice to really let me know how much you hated this video. If you aren't, please subscribe. Until next time, don't mind the mess, and take care, everyone.